This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Our goal with our videos is to empower you to be able to do the repairs on your own and save a whole lot of money and also get that great feeling of having fixed it by yourself. Today we have a Kenmore washer with the F21 drain problem. We're going to go over how to fix that. This one's kind of bad because it's intermediate, comes and goes and isn't always happening. So first thing we're going to do is unplug it and we're going to lift it up. I'm going to lift it up onto my little toolbox so I can get to some of the screws at the bottom. I want to remove that bottom panel, but those screws are hard to get to, so I've elevated it a little bit by putting my little toolbox in there to give me some room. So I'm just going to zip off these 1/4-inch screws, and then once I get the 3 screws off, I can get that panel off. Sometimes you have to use like a standard head screwdriver to kind of pry the panel down because it'll be wedged in or stuck in position. Sometimes it just come right off, other times you got to give it a little bit of force to get it off. So there we go. So this is how you would cure the F21 problem, but also we're going to go one step beyond that and do the F21 intermittent problem where the problem kind of comes and goes. This is a pretty involved fix. So we got all the water out, bailed as much as we could. We got a towel underneath there. It's going to collect about 2 cups of water when I take this coin trap out. So I'm going to go lefty-loosey counterclockwise, pull that out, and then all the water will be absorbed by the towel. I'm going to reach in here to the right where the impeller is. I'm going to spin it with my finger. And it should be kind of difficult to spin and then easy to spin and then difficult to spin and then easy to spin because it has like a little magnet that's holding it. That's normal. If it's really hard to spin though and it won't spin without a lot of force, then there might be a rubber band or something wrapped around the impeller. So that's something to check. I'm going to loosen up these little clips in the back of this wire harness so I can get it out of the way. Just give me a little more room to work. And what I'm going to be doing is removing the black rubber boot that goes between the drain and the tub. I'm going to remove it not from the drain but from the tub. So I'm actually lifting up now on the drain to get it out of the way just so I have more room. By the way, you can also take off the back panel to the washing machine if you have easy access to the back, and it's even easier to get to these components to do this procedure to remove this piece that is in the black boot between the drain and the tub. It's weird. It's a little plastic ball that Whirlpool and Maytag put in to help with efficiency, but it ends up causing trouble down the road, and the service technician Bolton say that it's okay to remove it. So here's that ball. I got it off by removing a big spring clamp that was holding the rubber boot on, and I'm just going to pull that ball out, get rid of it, clean up that inside area. And once that ball's out, you won't get that intermittent problem. It'll always drain. The ball kind of gets in the way, gets stuck, and stops it from draining. So I'm using these hose clamp pliers to squeeze in on that hose clamp. It's a big hose clamp, so that I can get the boot back up on to the tub. I want to make sure it's fully on there as far as it'll go. I'll put the hose clamp back into its little ridges. It has little ridges where it fits. And then I'll let go with my hose clamp pliers. You could use regular pliers to work too. And then that'll hold that into position. It is easier though if you go in from the back to do this because you have a little bit more room to work. This is doing it from the front. So now I've got that resolved. I'm just going to put the pump back in the way that it came out. So I'm going to tilt it in and then push it to the left until it locks in. There's a rubber piece underneath it you may have to kind of shove in with a standard head screwdriver. Putting the coin trap back in, I'm going to spin that tight. And I'm using a standard head screwdriver to push that rubber piece in to make sure that the drain pump is really locked back into position. If it floats, it's not terrible, but it's better if it's locked in. So I'm pushing in to get that rubber piece all the way back down in. Now it's nice and secure. Go ahead and add the modular power connector back to the pump. Put that in and lock it down. So we have power to the pump. I'm going to get this coin trap in here really tight, as far to the right as I can go to lock it in. And then I'm going to put the wiring harness back to where it was by just pushing the clips into the frame that locks them in. And I'll plug it back in and give it a test before I throw some towels in that were dirty before I put the panel on to make sure there's no leaks. So I'm going to let it fill, let it agitate a little bit, and then I'll drain it, and if there's no leaks then I can go ahead and put the bottom panel back on. So it's a pretty easy procedure. I think the only hard part is that darn hose clamp, and if you have a pretty big pair of pliers or you have hose clamp pliers, it's not that bad. And again, it is probably easier to come at this from the back by removing the big back panel. So I'm putting the front panel back in, shove it in the top, lift it from the bottom, and then I'll add those 3 screws that hold it in. Whenever you do these procedures on this kind of machine, it's important to put the panel back on, the front panel or the back panel, because it has little switches that if the panel is missing, some parts of the washing machine won't work. It's like a little ground interrupt switch, so you got to make sure you put those panels back on before you do extensive testing. Put that on nice and tight, and we turned it on, and it was draining and spinning, and it is done. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for watching our video. We really appreciate your support. And when you get a chance, please press the subscribe button below so you can be subscribed, and also the notification bell so we can send you more videos about appliance repair. Please also give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. If you really liked the video and it really helped you, please press this new applaud button, and you can show your support and also get a nice clapping hands for your video. Thanks again.